Hello my little goblins, we're back at it again, and this time we're with another deck profile, and this time a submission from our Discord. So remember, I take a lot of this stuff very seriously when people are giving me recommendations. Join our Discord, the description's down below, and maybe I'll end up using your deck in one of these videos. So we have a Yosenju list here. We're using Fire Fist Tenki. We have a lot of spice here. This is the more fun list that he sent me. He did send me like a stun list, but after looking at the list, I feel like, to be completely honest, I did try the stun list. You're mainly going to be winning off the stun cards, and I don't think that's too fun. So I figured let's just look at this list because it looks more interesting. Summoning Curse is really cool card, especially since almost everything you do is a normal summon. Battle Fader is a pretty wild card because nobody expects it. They have some stun cards with one Macrocosmos, some Solemn Judgments and stuff like that, but other than that, nothing too crazy. The extra deck's kind of like, it's useful, but at the same time, it's not useful. Main cards that are useful in here are probably Baguska, maybe Abyss Dweller, number 27, Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon, and the Zeus. Those are probably the most important cards in there. But we can pretty much, we're running Pot of E and Pot of P, so you probably just could get rid of all of it, and it doesn't really matter too much. But they do come into play at some point. So we're going to pretty much look at how the deck performs. We're going to play some games, and yeah, we're going to see how the deck does. And then we'll go to the recap, and we'll talk about pros and cons of the deck, and we'll give a rating to the deck as well. All right, let's go. Hello, everybody. We're here, and we're starting off with game number 1. And this is Fortunato, who came up with the deck, versus Uber Swaglord. And I will have a mix between Fortunato and me playing the deck. I just want to... He has a lot more experience with it, so I'd rather have him take the lead on this one. But Uber Swaglord is also part of the Discord. It's kind of funny. They're playing against each other. It looks like Uber Swaglord was testing out some type of Banish deck. Honestly, Fortunato's hand looks kind of cooked. Macrocosmos is not going to do anything, but the Summoning Curse is going to be absolutely... You know what? Actually might work better than most people. But he has a very high lead right now, though. Him being able to set this card right here, which is a bounce 2, and a compulsory evacuation, which is bounce 1, and then him having all 4 of these cards in your hands is just nuts. I think that is something the deck probably struggles with, is just like these cards don't do anything unless they have another card like it. See, you're selling, like, just read this effect. Like, you can add a card to your hand when you deal damage, but you need to have another Yosenju do damage. So it works really well with Karma, which can attack directly. But that's I think where the deck comes into some problems, personally. But he's showing Uber Swaglord the business right now. That Summoning Curse, like I said, is going to be devastating, but not as devastating as some other decks, because like again, he's playing like it looks like a banish based strategy. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing something that's like banishing their cards to begin with, and it's probably not going to be the end of the world if they get a card in their hand banished. But he's going to go for the bounce. He ends up bouncing 2 cards here. He gets rid of the token and the other card on his own turn. And I think it's because he wants to go for a kill. And you know what's amazing thing about this? Common number 1? Common number 1 can bounce any face-up card. So it could be any back row card too, which is actually pretty relevant. The only unfortunate thing is I don't really think a card works very well against Skill Drain. Pretty sure Skill Drain will just lock you out of doing anything. But that's kind of how the deck's supposed to play. You kind of lock out your opponent. This was kind of a beatdown. We're going to go into the next game. You'll see a little bit more what I'm talking about. Alrighty, you little rats. We're playing against Alice. And Fortunato, his hand's pretty, I would say, nuts. You know what the crazy thing is? He's running we've run one Summoning Curse in the deck, right? He seems to open it every game. Or a lot of these games that like he's showcasing, it's like he has it in his opening hand. So something tells me that you probably should be running more than one. It's really fortunate that Fire Formation Tenki's at 2, because like this deck really, I swear to God, the deck needs a consistency on it. It also sucks. I'm pretty sure the reinforcement on the army doesn't work with it because they're beast warriors, not just warriors. It's just kind of annoying. Just would be nice to just have a little bit more consistency there. Because his hand's like cracked. Like all these games that we're winning, they're playing, like he's playing against Suship right now. Like these games that we're winning is like, his hand's really powerful. Like he's going to absolutely poop on this person, right? Because it's like the summoning curse is this Suship deck can't handle. How the hell do you have 3 triggers on this? How does that work? Choose one, add one. I don't understand how 3 triggers are happening. So is he gonna get banished 3 cards? Confused. If a monster is a special summon, so if everything gets special summoned at the same time, it's just banish 1. Yeah, these do nothing. Okay, this is like buggy. This is a bug? This must be a bug. Okay, special summoned again. He loses that card. He already lost 2 cards here. Wow, what the hell? He lost 2 traps. Well, he's losing 3 cards. Lost Wind's coming back. It's kind of scary though, because like he could just straight up die though here, right? He banishes unexpected die. So if Alice had a way of just killing him, he was fucked. He had nothing else to really protect him. Another weak point of the deck. Like it feels like you want to be playing like, it almost feels like you want to be playing like Mirror Force and shit like that, or like Drowning Mirror Force or something. To really just control the board. I don't know. Maybe that could be something we look into. Because like I said, when people attack into you, you have a really hard time dealing with it. All right, so he's going for the Dreadnought play. So since he's going to be able to kill this with the Lost Wind, he can go into Dreadnought and he'll be able to finish him off here. Because look, he'll take the damage here. He'll attack for 17. And then it puts him into 2k, which lets him go into Dreadnought Cannon. This still doesn't kill you. Right? This is only 2k damage. Oh, we're just going into Zeus. Alright, so he wanted a 4 material Zeus, which is respectable. You did lose cards in your own, though. Lost 2 cards there. But I guess 4 material Zeus is probably worth it. Let's be honest. Let's see. He just passes. He must have 0 gas. This is the thing about Suships too. If you do not have like the normal monster, the normal Suship, it's very hard to operate. The deck has a lot of ways of getting it though. And then we attack. Boom, Alice. Like I said, it's doing pretty well, but like I said, I feel like the main weak points of the deck are gonna be like the back row, like getting your ass slammed in, not in a good way. Alrighty guys, we're here with a 3rd game from Fortunato, and then we're gonna be going into some of my games. And Summoning Curse is gonna be activated immediately. Like I said, every game we're running 1 Summoning Curse. In all these replays I see from Fortunato, it is you're almost winning off the back of Summoning Curse, which I feel like is a really good card that I think most decks don't play. Like, how come True Draco doesn't play this shit? Like, I feel like this would be nasty in True Draco. I mean, True Draco's fucking lame anyway, but Marco's just lost this entire hand. He lost 3 cards. Marcos lost half his fucking hand, half the real estate. And Fortunato has all he has to show for it are these four little fucking furry bitches. He just concedes. He's like, fuck this. It's like I have no cards in my hands. See, I'm telling you, like, this deck is just winning off of summoning art. Oh, man. All right, we're going to go into my game now. All right, guys, we're here with game number 4 in one of my games against Duel. And we're playing against Eldritch. Gotta love that. I'm definitely not gonna go insane. Gotta love it. Set 4, pass. He plays Pod Duality. He plays Anti-Spell Fragrance. It's a good thing I'm not going to get any good cards in my hand because Pod Duality, Lost Turn. Lost Turn is the best card here to grab because we know we're playing against Eldritch. So the reason why we're doing this is we want to get a draw every turn because we fucking need a... Dude, I'm going to be honest. I can never get like more than 2 of these in my hand. It's crazy. When I was watching Fortunato games, he has like 4 of them in his hand at all times. It's like, dude, I get barely 2. I played this deck for like 2 hours too. Alright, Lost Turn, activated. If you're wondering why I activated so early, it's because if he wants to special summon any monsters, it will go in defense, so it gives me some type of protection. Lost Turn is actually not bad in the deck, because it does give you protection. Like, look, I'm switching the card to defense. But like I said, I can't even fucking kill this card. I don't have enough damage. So I'm pretty much using this as a draw, like, just for drawing. I drew 2 cards off of it so far. That's annoying. But it's alright. We have our... sword. We're gonna bounce these 2. I'm actually glad he didn't hit Lost Turn. Something that's really annoying, by the way, you're gonna see. He goes to the Lord of Heavenly Prison, gets shifted to defense, like I said. He activates Eldritch. And I have 0 idea why this interaction does not work. So this is what confuses me a little. Eldritch is negated, right? But I think it's like, I could be wrong. It's probably because of this ability here, because he activates it from the graveyard when it's not negated. So when it gets summoned, it already has. It can't be destroyed by card effects. But I thought this would be destroyed by Torrential Tribute, which is really unfortunate. I know for a fact that if Lost 1 turn was actually going to activate, this would shift to defense. But it's not because Conquistador is going to pop it. Kind of just annoying. I wasted Torrential Tribute pretty much. Battle Fader comes out. We can't take a 3,500 hit. Honestly, I was actually better off using Solemn Judgment on Conquistador so I can keep up my stupid lose 1 turn. We're just going to keep killing his fucking Eldritch over and over. We got to get our draws in. You got Max C. Now, this is where I go a little loco. I go into Time Thief for Doer, and you might be saying, Fatzoid, go into Zeus. And I really thought about that. But I know these cards are all reoccurring effects, and I only have 2 material on this. If I go into Zeus, I will only be able to Zeus once. And 1 Eldritch coming back kills Zeus. So it just was not worth it to me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to roll the dice and see if I can get traps off the top. Because if I can get traps off the top with Redoer, I can really mess with him. So, and what do I mean by that? I can just continuously send his cards back to the back to the top of his deck. I pretty much can just brick him. I can make sure I brick him every turn. So I'm gonna activate the Redoer. He activates all his cards. I'm not really sure why he's just activating everything like crazy. Like, he's, like, afraid of me grabbing certain cards. Because, like, if I don't grab an Eldritch card, I'll grab one of your other spells and traps. So, like, you don't run that many monsters in the deck. So, I grab a spell here. I grab the Golden Land Forever. Or, no, Cursed Eldland, sorry. So, what we're going to do, we're going to draw a card here. And then we're going to go for a bouncy. But we're actually going to bounce our Gardevoir. Because we're just going... Now that we have 2 Gardevoirs in hand... I can actually do some cool plays. Again, Yosenju's nowhere to be found. Fucking... Might as well be playing any other deck. Never draw the card. We're actually going to stop this Golden Land Forever. Because, like I said, we need the Time Thief for Doer's effect. What do we get? We top deck a trap, which is massive. Send Gardevoir. He activates there can only be one. I'm going to use Time Thief or Doer. Put that back on the top of his deck. Go ahead, you can draw that. He activates Ice Dragon's Prison. Get rid of my Yosenju card. Like this card was even doing anything. Its effect would he... I just want to point out its effect doesn't even work because I need to have another Yosenju out to do anything. Set my 2 cards. He actually... So what ended up happening, he actually shuffled away that there can only be one, which is actually not a bad thing for us. So Time Thief for Doer. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm an idiot. There can only be one when I have done anything to me, right? Because I had a Psychic and Insect. I should have just let that stay. Huh. I should have just let it... it doesn't really matter. I could have... The reason why I was thinking I could have let it stay was because if I wait until I get... Until the end of this turn where he activates all his stuff to shuffle his deck up, I could purposely put Anti-Spell Fragrance on top of his deck. But then again, he just does this. He just uses the Eldritch to come out on the field. So I guess it doesn't matter. But we get another trap, which is massive. He's activating all these abilities. I don't really care because I have a trap on him. And for anyone saying you're getting really lucky with these, dude, the dude's deck's mostly traps. There's a high chance for me getting traps. Put Eldritch on the back of the top of his deck. We draw, and then our opponent gives up. So, did Yosenju win me this? Or was it Time Thief? It's probably Time Thief that won me the duel. But I will say, the Yosenju card did draw me 2 cards. That's about it. That's a contribution to the card. Hello, and we're here with the final game, game number 5. And I just wanted to point out, we decided to just go the stun route. Last game I'm going to show on here. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play the stun route, and let's see how this goes. We play against someone who's playing King's Knight. We summon Yosenju. We attack. He activates Imperm. It doesn't work. I kill it, and then he concedes. You know why I'm including this? Oh, let's talk about it in the recap, and I'll explain why I included that. Hello, everybody. We're here for the recap, and I just want to say thank you for watching this far. And if you aren't subscribed, just please, for the love of God, subscribe. It helps me out. And if it helps me out, it helps you out somehow. Other than that, join our Discord. The link is down below. It's pretty nifty, pretty neato. We host tournaments there once in a while. It's pretty cool. Cool community. We're at 270 plus members strong. Remember it. Alright, so let's talk about the deck. The deck fucking sucks. I mean, no offense to Fortunato. I don't think it's his fault. I just think the archetype just blows ass. And for the people who say, oh no, Fatsoid, oh no, not my Yosenju, this deck rocks. It sucks a fat dude, you play this on ladder right now. Play this in Diamond Ladder and have fun playing it. I might as well be playing a deck full of Mr. Volcanoes. Like, that's the equivalent of how useful the cards are. Like... I can't even explain. So the reason why I showed that last game was because that was one of the only wins I had with the deck. I had 3 wins in total, but the other win was just my opponent conceding immediately since he didn't get first. That was my other win. So I got 3 wins. I showed you one of them. One of them was a good win. I'll give you that. Like the one against Eldritch, that was like a hard-earned win. Granted, I had to still get like relatively lucky with getting traps off the top of his deck, because if I didn't, I probably lost. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty hard-earned win. The other games were just like my opponents just conceded. And every other game that I played it probably against like I think probably like 10 Math Mechs, 8 Brandeds, 7 or 6 Sword Souls. I played against a lot of decks, and we just lost every fucking round. And if you guys say, oh, it sounds like a skill issue, I really don't think it was. I mean, the deck is, to not be rude, it's not that hard to pilot. right? The deck's like moderately easy to pilot. These cards just lack a lot of oomph to it, and these cards are too reliant on each other. That's the problem. When you have top tier decks, like look at something like Branded, look at something like Math Mech. Look at these cards are all like one card starters that just do everything by itself. You got Circular, you got Aliber. Like these cards just, you got any of the Sword Soul cards, they just do everything by itself. You understand that. This card, I need other cards. First of all, it's a normal summon, which is like, okay, already iffy. So, because if you just imperm this card, I just do nothing. You effect failure the card, I do nothing. And then I have to like have two cards out at the same time to use any of their effects. So they're eventually... This card is essentially okay, Mr. Volcano is a tribute. They're essentially Winged Dragon Guardians of the Cock. Like, that's essentially what I'm summoning right now. I might as well be summoning Mystic Shineball, which actually Mystic Shineball is a better card because you can special summon it off a goddess, of the Venus goddess. So I'm just saying, the deck's not good. I will say this. I will concede this. That Fortunato, he was mainly playing this deck in the festival event, right? So there's a lot of cards that are banned in the festival. I was playing on ranked ladder. I'm going to point that out. And also we were playing Zeus and stuff. A lot of the games he was playing was on the festival event ladder. So that explains why the deck would do a bit better, because the ladder has a much weaker power level. I'll also point out that on the ladder, right, there's a lot of Crusadia out there. And this deck actually probably has a good matchup against Crusadia, because none of the monsters stay on the field. Since they all bounce back to your hand, it's actually good to have an empty board so they can't OTK you. So, that all being said, is this deck good on the festival ladder? I would say yes. Another point to make, this deck is actually extremely cheap. Because a lot of these cards you don't need, like in the extra deck, because we're getting rid of them anyway to Extravagance and Prosperity. So, like, I mean, Zeus you don't even need for the festival, right? A lot of these cards is really not needed. You probably need Baguska. That's probably about it. Time Thief for Doer is really good, but like you don't really need it. I just have it because I played it with other decks. That all being said, like, this is probably a good festival deck, or a fun festival deck to play. Would you just have an easier time playing Crusadia and collecting your points as soon as possible? Probably. But I think a lot of people are also pretty privy to the fact that a lot of people are playing Crusadia on the ladder, so this might just be a good way of combating it. That's all I'm going to really say about it. Other than that, the deck's alright. I mean, when I say alright, it's alright for the festival. Terrible for ladder. Do not... If you want to play this for fun, because you just like the archetype, you like being a furry, you like to suck furry cock, you like to get some furusy, then I'd say this deck's probably for you, right? Like, I could see a furry wanting to be this, you know? I could see a furry wanting to have this guy or girl whip their butt cheeks or something. But if you're a normal person without a furry addiction, then and you actually want to win at this game, then this is probably not the deck you want to play. Unless if you're in like silver or gold or something. Like maybe you could make this deck work in that. But I'm telling you right now, you play this shit in Diamond Ladder, you can get rolled over. And your opponent's probably fucking having fucking Cheeto crumbs on their chest as they're fucking leaned back like this, fucking clicking their buttons. They're like, oh, it's a Yosenju deck. Okay. That's pretty much how that's going. And that tilts me knowing that my opponent's doing that and they're stomping on me, being like, trying to make calculations here, you know? So on a scale of 1 to 10, for the festival, I'm going to say this is a 7 or a 6.5, right? For the ladder, the regular ranked ladder, I'm putting this at a whopping 2 because it sucks a fat cock. Even the stun lock version just sucks because it's just, dude, it's just a bad stun deck. Like, I can't make it up. It's just a really shit stun deck. So I can't, in my right mind, say, oh yeah, it's good, it's great. The tier list, right? It is in the absolute garbage tier. I'm not going to say it's the worst deck I ever played, but it's up there with Sylveon and Narla Control. So it's I'm just glad that this deck was cheap. Like, it was all like normals and rares, so I didn't have to craft ultra rares for this shit. You know, I actually did craft the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, but I actually do plan on doing the machine deck one day, Machina. So that was kind of an investment for that in the future. So, alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me guys know what you guys want to see more of, and goodbye.